Let's get more on this. Bloomberg Global Aviation reporter Benedikt Kammel joins us now. Benny, the issues that we've seen at Airbus over the past week, can you just describe the scale that they are? Because you're seeing this flip where Matt was pointing out Boeing does well, Airbus isn't. Are they on the same sort of scale of woes we saw at Boeing in years prior?
Well, probably not is the short answer. Boeing has really come through a very, very rough patch over a number of years. And what we've seen here at Airbus is a slightly unusual sort of breakout moment for them in the negative sense. So it all started late last week on Friday. They came out with this announcement saying that their software on the A320 aircraft needed upgrading. That happened surprisingly swiftly, I will say. That happened over the weekend. When I saw the first numbers, 6,000 aircraft that needed the upgrade, I think most people thought this would be something that would take them well into sort of the rest of the month, maybe even next year. And by the end of the weekend, it was all done. But then problem number two arose out of nowhere, which was these panels that cover the aircraft. They have some of them that show some discrepancies versus the specs that are required. So what they're doing now is checking them all. And that's a sort of arduous process that will take a while. And that's essentially why you got sort of the hit this morning where they said, we won't be able to make our delivery targets for the year. We're going to be a smidge lower. The original target was for 820 aircraft, and now it's 790. They did keep their financial targets in place, and that might explain why the stock didn't fall off a cliff again. It had a really epic meltdown early in the week, but today it managed to sort of hold its gains.
You know, I always look at the 5-year performance of Airbus versus Boeing, and when you zoom out that far, Airbus is just crushing it in terms of the stock, right? It's well over doubled, and meanwhile, Boeing is in the red. I've also heard you, Benny, talking about the A320 as, I believe, the world's most flown commercial aircraft, right? Are they completely dominant?
That is correct. I mean, dominant is probably too big a word, but they have certainly come from nowhere. I mean, a while back, admittedly, in the late 80s. But, you know, Boeing back then was sort of the only game in town. And the A320 has really sort of taken that position away from Boeing. Obviously, they're still sort of neck and neck, shall we say. Boeing still wins a fair portion of the business. But these days, the A320 and its derivatives, so the 321 and the XLR and all those types of planes, that's really where the action is right now, and it's put Boeing under considerable pressure, and that will explain that chart that you just showed. And a big part of the Airbus story is built around the A320, which would explain again why people are somewhat nervous about anything going wrong with that plane. Airbus does say we've got a handle on this, we have it under control, we'd rather slow things down and take the hit on the deliveries and make sure that everything is safe. But again, this is a plane that people look at very, very closely just because it's such a big money spinner for Airbus.
Yeah, and we also saw just how many airlines had to cancel or delay their flights because of that. Benny, thank you so much. Bloomberg's Benedikt Kammel.